time for me to go hard as the hood I'm from.
DJ Khaled, we the best! I'm going in! I'm going in!
I do it for the hood, cause the hood told me I should.
If you rep your hood and you going hard!
If there ain't none, you don't stress. Tell them niggas.
What is it that happens to a body when we put it under the stress of heavy weights? This is what we're going to find out. Nice clean warm up to get the blood flow pumping to the muscles, to the working muscles. As we know, the body constricts blood flow to the rest of the body and dilates it to the working muscles that need all the oxygen, all the nutrients in it as it works. As we're going to see, we're going to change just the weight and the resistance and the velocity of the workout. At every different point, we're hitting a different part of the muscle. With higher resistance, your velocity is going to slow down. So you're going to hit a different peak point on your muscle. Now, as you drop resistance and you drop weight, your velocity is going to speed up. You'll be able to throw the weight around a little easier, hitting different part of the muscle as well. Here's where we talk about slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. Terms you're going to have to be familiar with. One is concentric, eccentric, and then isometric actions. Concentric action is where muscle shortens and produces tension throughout the range of motion. Key word is concentric, as in concentrate. So you're concentrating on your force there. The next is eccentric action. Occurs when external resistance exceeds muscle force and muscle lengthens as tension develops. A good way to learn that is basically your muscle extends. I'll be pointing it out as we go through the exercises performed. The last, but not all of all, is isometric action, which we'll be hitting here as well. It occurs when a muscle generates force and attempts to shorten but cannot overcome the external fence. So it'd be basically me pushing a wall. Or as we go through these exercises, you're gonna see our subjects perform curls in this instant. What is going on here specifically while a person is curling? In a bicep curl, there's various muscles working as a synergist to perform this exercise. You got your bicep doing the concentric, eccentric moves. Then you got the tricep working as the antagonist while you are curling. If not, think about it. If your tricep wasn't reacting in any way, your arm would just flop right down and you'd have no control of it whatsoever. As he's lifting up, that is the concentric move. The bicep is the only one of the muscles in the body that has the unique feature that it twists and pulls in. That's why in some people you get to see such a great high peak in the bicep. Here I started off with lightweight and I worked my way up. As I'm going through, my velocity is going to change. I cannot lift a 60-pound weight the same speed and with the same force I lift a 35-pound weight. There's a number of things that are actually going physiologically on with our body while we're working out. You see the veins start to surface. Everything is flowing to the working muscles right now. As every concentric move happens, blood rushes into the muscle. Now, as the heavier weight I go in any exercise, the heavier weight you go, you got a series of hormone secretions going on. For example, growth hormone will only come out in peak resistant exercises. So the hardest possible way you can push your muscle is the more benefit you can get out of growth hormone in any of your exercises. Another thing to keep in mind is also different kind of strength training principles. There is the overload principle, meaning the intensity of it. Three approaches apply to the muscular overload, which would be increased load of resistance, increased number of repetitions, and increase the speed of muscle action. This is all basic weight training for any of us that already participate in it. You just did another technicality to it. Now here we switched into tricep pull downs. This is basically the same action as we've been doing with the bicep curls. Can you tell where the concentric and the eccentric part is now? It's flipped around now. So every time my arms fold up, it's actually the eccentric move. And when I push down, it'll be the concentric move in this. Now here we're moving back into one of the principles. It'll be a good example of force velocity principle. As you see, I start off with little weight, but I'm able to move at a faster pace. So the muscle is lengthening and or shortening at a different rate than as to when I were to add some more extra weight on this. Here, as you see, the weight is heavier. So the load increased and the maximum shortening velocity decreased. A muscle's force generating capacity rapidly declines with increased shortening velocity. Here we're moving into a lower body. Maybe you get a better understanding on it. As we squat here, you have an isometric hold in your abs, and depending how you perform the squat, you'll have it down in your calf muscles as well. Here we're using a Smith machine to be easily and more, you can show the angles and the flexions and extensions of the body as we're squatting down and up. Now, here the main muscle group, the antagonist, is your hamstring. Your agonist is your actual quad. But here you got a plethora of muscles working as synergist. You got your calf muscles that help somewhat. You got your glutes in it. You got your abs. You got spinal erector muscles in the back. You got your shoulders holding up the weight. It's when you involve any kind of squatting method with your legs, big group of muscles involved to help stabilize the rest of the body. Now, depending on the form that you do or the quality of it is whether you start recruiting other muscles or not. These are called leg extensions, similar to the tricep pull downs in a way. As you kick out, your muscles are contracting. Therefore, they are in the concentric phase. I used a variety of different muscle exercises to show the different ways that the muscles are in the concentric phase, eccentric phase. Sometimes when you think they're actually in the concentric phase, they are in the eccentric phase, as well as to show what muscles might actually be in an isometric phase. Meaning they're holding tension, but they're not either lengthening or shortening through any kind of action. To grow in strength and in size, you need to be able to apply these principles and know the simple knowledge of just concentric phase and eccentric phases of your muscle. As you see, I've done lightweight and been able to do a much faster rate, a faster velocity of the exercise, whereas I have done heavyweight and have to do had to do nice and slow exercise. When it all comes down to it, they say quantity is better than quality. It's not about getting under the weights and pushing as many as you can, as fast as you can, or as ease, doing dumbbell flies as many as you can, as fast as you can. Injuries can occur very, very fast. So take your time and concentrate on the concentric and eccentric phases of each exercise.
the more you put into each phase, the better it'll be.